Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now the middle of January of 2022, and we're only getting closer to the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 4. I know a lot of fans out there, by the way, have had issues with the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 3, The Streets of Mos Espa. By the way, guys, I would love to hear your thoughts on the latest chapter of the Book of Boba Fett. Whether you liked it or disliked it, let me know below in the comments, because it is quite interesting to see exactly which fans really liked that episode and which really did not like that episode in particular. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do make sure to post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and really interact with you guys further, so go ahead and check that out if you would like. Now, the thing about everything between George, John, and Dave, they really are doing everything in their power to really bringing Star Wars back to its roots, back to the vision of George Lucas and exactly what Star Wars really is when it comes to the philosophy of the franchise and what it really stands for. Something that George, John, and Dave are really trying to protect from Kathleen Kennedy tainting things further, which she already technically did with the sequel trilogy and past Star Wars projects, but it's all about moving forward right now, and it's all about really kind of giving the fans fun and entertaining experiences and shifting away from reality, right? So on top of all of this, one thing that a lot of fans have been very intrigued about is, of course, exactly what Disney and Lucasfilm are up to when it comes to all of the major retcons and the resets coming our way for the new Star Wars universe. We already know that a lot of retcons are being applied to the sequel trilogy movies with the Ahsoka Tano TV series. We talked about this just yesterday if you guys want to go ahead and check out that post. But everything related to Star Wars Andor and TV shows like Obi-Wan Kenobi, they really are going to be on a very high budget. It's going to feel like you're watching an actual movie. It's going to have a different feel or look, if you will, than the Book of Boba or the Mandalorian. Now, on top of all of this, with, of course, multiple Star Wars TV shows, of course, now in development at the same exact time by John and Dave Filoni, in order to roll out tons of new shows every single year for the Star Wars fandom to enjoy. However, both Lucas, Favreau, and Filoni are said to be working on something truly spectacular for the future of Star Wars by refilming aspects of the original trilogy for a new Star Wars TV show. Now, it's described that there are major plans by Disney and Lucasfilm to refilm major key scenes of Return of the Jedi for the third and final season of Star Wars Andor that will take place in 2024 during the fall. One key sequence that is set to be refilmed involves the entire Battle of Endor sequence that will be refilmed by Lucasfilm while also adding in new key scenes into the famous scene. One significant scene that is set to be refilmed involves the saber duel between both Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader to correspond with the refilming of the space battle sequences around and near the second Death Star. So we talked about this lightly a couple of weeks ago, about Andor Season 3 giving us fresh new takes on both the Battle of Yavin and the Battle of Endor. Regardless, these are key moments in time in which Andor is dead and Jyn Erso is dead, as they both perished on the world of Scarif by the Death Star blast, right? Now, that's a very interesting theme that they are actually pushing for. The same exact theme with Rogue One. We got scenes after Andor and Jyn Erso's death that also involved, of course, a little bit of a connection to A New Hope. That entire Darth Vader slaughter scenes against, of course, the rebels and everything related to the Tantive 4 and General Leia Organa, or just Leia at the time, Princess Leia showing her face, you know, pulling that hood back. Now, the thing about this, though, is that they are going to be refilming the entire Battle of Endor sequence and also adding in new key scenes to actually correspond with all of that, to really kind of give fans a fresh new take on that moment in Star Wars, alright? So, moving on, Lucasfilm is already looking at director Peyton Reed to direct this episode in 2024, as he did a fantastic job with The Mandalorian Season 2's finale, which, by the way, guys, he really did do an amazing job with that. Lucasfilm has plans to provide new angles for both Luke and Vader to fight in front of course, Palpatine on the second Death Star, as well as brand new pilots that will be introduced during the Battle of Endor, one of which is planned to be Force-sensitive and a close friend of Andor's. Of course, Andor by this point in time is dead, but this part in Andor Season 3 is set to feature Andor's close friend, who ends up being Force-sensitive, who aids in the Battle of Endor space battle sequence, and even feels Luke Skywalker's presence against Vader and the Emperor on the second Death Star. And that one major retcon coming on a big change is that the mystery pilot is going to warn other pilots that Skywalker is still on the second Death Star fighting Vader and the Emperor, and that the war is close to an end. And this pilot is planned to play a role in giving Luke enough time to get off the second Death Star in time. So that's another very interesting take here, is that this pilot is going to play a role in how long the rebellion wants to kind of drag the battle to save time for Luke to defeat both Vader and the Emperor, right? Now, regardless, of course, if the second Death Star blows up, it's a win-win for them, but they want to keep Luke alive because they know who he is. They know who he's going to become. And that's one thing that's also going to be a big retcon, if you will, is that everything related to the Battle of Endor is going to feature more around this mystery pilot, and we're not quite sure who he is just yet, but it is going to be a very close friend of Andor that has to deliver a very important message. And I think the fact that, you know, we have all of these key scenes really kind of being refilmed and remade for the Andor Season 3 in 2024, it's still a far ways off. But we have the first season debuting later this year, alright, so we're looking at most likely the summer, maybe into the early fall. They have not really decided on a true release date just yet, but it is looking like the summer of 2022 for the Andor debut, if you will. So, moving on from this, alright, this is where things begin to pick up a little bit. The refilming of this scene will also involve a full-on new reunion between Luke, Leia, and Han Solo on the forest moon of Endor. The new reunion is said to also extend what was seen at the very end of Return of the Jedi. The new Battle of Endor for Andor Season 3 will also feature a fresh new look at the destruction of the second Death Star. John and Dave want to respect Lucas's work from the 80s, however they also always wanted to portray a more realistic explosion of the second Death Star weapon, and how it will have a major consequence on the surface of Endor, causing a massive wildfire and even a large tsunami on the world of Kef Bir, as seen in The Rise of Skywalker with the wreckage. Lucasfilm is planning to showcase all of the Death Star pieces falling onto different moons and worlds throughout that area, all of which, of course, this is already storyboarded and planned to be finalized in the script of Andor Season 3 once they begin finalizing it sometime in 2023. Very interesting stuff, the fact that we're going to have a lot of consequences of the Death Star wreckage falling onto the forest moon of Endor and on the Kef Bir world. Now, Kef Bir, by the way, is where Kylo Ren and Rey fought in The Rise of Skywalker with the massive, you know, tsunamis and the water shifting left and right on the wreckage of the Death Star. But we're going to see the very moment in which that wreckage crashes on that world and creates a mega tsunami, and also wildfires being introduced into the forest moon of Endor. Now, we've seen that in the Battlefront 2 video game to a degree, so I can see how John and Dave want to pick up on that. And I think it is pretty ambitious of them that they want to give us a more realistic explosion of the second Death Star, showing us the massive wreckage in space and on the ground. So overall, guys, you know, let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.